What's up everyone, it's my Yard here. Let's talk about W2K15. And ever since the inclusion of Sting, I've had one thought of my mind, and that's what type of era it would be. Would it be like Ultimate Warrior, where it would be loosely based around them? Obviously Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan had a match WrestleMania 6, and it was a big match. And obviously you couldn't play as Warrior, you played as Hogan since... Oh no, you played as Warrior because Warrior won the match. But if you didn't have the pre-order bonus at the match, you could still play him in career mode. Is there going to be something with Sting involving WCW? Yet Goldberg has denied that he's going to be in the game, so it's crazy. But one match type that's synonymous with WCW is the Immortal War Games match. Now, there hasn't really ever been a War Games video game match in WWE or WCW, to my knowledge. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below if someone has actually made a War Games match type in a wrestling game. There is one game I'll talk about later which is going to have one. But the question is, would WWE ever consider it, or 2K ever consider it, making a War Games match? Because it's not just as simple as... Well, I'll explain what a War Games match is, basically. War Games is normally teams of 4, teams of 5, 2 teams of 4, 2 teams of 5. Submission or KO was normally the way to win in a War Games match. You could win by pinfall depending on the War Games. It was 2 rings stacked side by side, so you could leave the ropes from one ropes, go into the next ropes and into the second ring. On top of that, it was in a steel cage, and it wasn't just like a normal steel cage where there wasn't a roof. There was a roof on top as well. It wasn't like Hell in a Cell, it was steel cage with a roof on top. And quite a small roof as well, actually. A lot of the time in the early steel cage War Games matches, a lot of guys with certain moves, their feet or their heads on press slams would hit the top of the cage. It was very dangerous indeed. Quite a few people got seriously unconscious, knockout, concussed in these matches, Brian Pillman being one of them. Same for Davey Boy Smith. So every 60 seconds, 2 minutes or so, another superstar would enter the wrestling. It was normally 2 minutes, sometimes as long as 5. They would enter the ring, and then chaos would erupt. You couldn't win until everyone had entered the match. Basically, if you've watched TNA, you know about the Lethal Lockdown match that happens at Lockdown. Basically, the Lethal Lockdown War is War Games, just in one cage. Except that they normally drop the roof down when everyone's entered the ring to symbol. This is when it can get crazy. And I've always liked the War Games sort of situation. It's great to end a rivalry between 2 big groups, for instance. It would work perfectly, or would have worked perfectly with the Shield, for instance. The Shield against Evolution. A great way to end the feud, personally, but hey ho. The problem is the practicality with a War Games match, especially in a video game, okay? You need to get the perspective right, because you haven't got just one ring, you've got 2 rings, and look at the size of the ring in the video game, it covers the whole screen. You put a second ring side by side, you're going to get further away perspective, which could hinder you for gameplay, possibly. Then you have to think up the physics, because in between the 2 rings, obviously, say you've got them stacked side by side, you've got ropes there, then you'll have basically the apron, apron to apron, and then you've got the second ring. Do you just make that like a big plank of wood and just have a little invert thing there and you can do barely anything? Springboard moves, how do you accommodate them inside the 2 rings? Outside the ring, stuff like that. It's very chaotic and very hard to program, especially when the ring physics for both would have to be spot on. I think a whole new engine is needed, which we could have in 2K15. It would be amazing if there was a War Games match in WWE game. Of course, also the big factor with WWE games is they've never had more than 6 people in the ring at one time. Ever since the Elimination Chamber match came to be in the video game, they've had the Tornado tag pretty much from day one, which is a pseudonym for War Games as well. You start with 2 people in the pod, next person comes out for one team, next person comes out for another, but you can make it really weird that it could actually be 1 on 3 at one point before your other teammates come out, because you can set the entry order. Online it's fairly different though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. one team gets 135, the other team gets 246. You can't make it randomized, which is fair enough. You don't want it to be completely over the top biased. I do just love war games. Granted, WCW started to not do it so much. They must have had like 25, 30 different war games over the years, and then near the end of the run, they just did one. They did a War Games 2000, which was the Triple Cage, which, oh dear, I like the essence of the Triple Cage. It's just, again, WCW ruins everything and just booked it wrong. They made a War Games match for the WCW title, but even though there was two teams, the winner who went through this, it was actually really crazy. Alright, a Triple Cage match, you have to, firstly, get from the Hell in a Cell cage, which is the first cage, climb a ladder through a sort of trap door to get into cage T, I think they called it, which was basically a normal steel cage, up top above the Hell in a Cell cage. Then you get through all that weapons. You have to use, not a crowbar, but something to break the chain. I've forgotten the name. Oh, it'll probably come to me. Use that, open the cage door. Then you go on to the third cage, which has random stuff. You climb to the very top, you grab the belt. But no, that doesn't make you the winner. You then have to crawl all the way down, go down through back into the cage, climb down the ladder again from the Hell in a Cell cage, and then walk through the main door to win the title. But it was a team-based match as well, so anyone could essentially win it. So why wasn't it just a free-for-all? Again, WCW ruined everything, and it was run-ins galore. Watch it on YouTube. It was on the WCW Nitro. That made it even more crazy. You're not going to stick it to a pay-per-view? No, let's stick it on Monday night. It's like, what the hell are they thinking? No, they were not thinking straight at all at that point. It was 2000. The kinks in the armor were vastly showing. It's also that other time, like the version of a Hell in a Cell match in WCW where Vince Russo wins the belt accidentally. Well, that was funny. But anyway, we need to talk about who is actually making a War Games style matchup. Well, in the sense that there's someone making a game for tablets, mobiles, MDicky, and he is basically his game Wrestling Revolution. This is going to be a 3D version. He made a 2D version, but he's going to make a 3D version which is going to be fully customable. But you can change the size of the ring, different shapes of wings, rings. So you can make it can be a 6-sided ring, 8-sided ring. It's quite crazy, really crazy what it's come up with. But he's done War Game styles where he stacked 2 rings side by side, and you can springboard from one ring to another, and it's really well made. It's basically just him doing this for the most part, and it's insane. You need to check him up on Facebook and see all his updates, and you'll just see how crazy. It's sort of looking like a bit like No Mercy in terms of style, where it's sort of blocky, but it's to save obviously for memory and all that, because it's going to be a mobile game. It needs to actually survive the processing powers now. It's not like it's going to be graphically impressive, but the core gameplay is looking pretty damn good. Another one which looks good, despite being really early days, is Action Arcade Wrestling 3. Screenshots for the next gen versions of it look outstanding as well. And then you got Pro Wrestling X, which has been greenlighted on Steam, which in theory you could easily make a War Games matchup on, and much more through on customization. Hopefully we might get early access to that game. I would love early access for that. People can start helping. Oh, that bear grew to death. Helping with that, make wrestlers, make match types, tables, ladders, chairs, cages, the physics engine. Oh, there's undreamable combos with a PC wrestling game that's openly moddable. But we'll see the fruit, hopefully in the near to future. A lot of exciting things happening for wrestling games. Can't forget about 5-star wrestling going with the simulation based either. And I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it completely. I would still use NWO Sting over Surfer Sting. Ultimately, I would prefer Joker Sting. That's just me. But that will never happen. Maybe we'll get his superstar head though. Maybe. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. They'd be able to put makeup on him, stuff like that. Being able to change the hairstyle as well for Superstar Head. That's what we want to see. Right guys, thank you very much for watching this long extended version of a video that I normally don't do many long versions lately, so it's nice to just get the comments flowing. So leave a comment with what you think. Should they ever make war games, or should they just stick to elimination chambers? Leave in the comment section below. We'll see you soon for more W2K15 goodness and for life.